So it's stages of tournaments.
Okay.
So there's three stages, and you have to make the cut from each one to continue on.
I
So
get
And
that.
so you have to make 3 cuts, correct?
technically, yes, to get like full status, but
Uh,
if you keep going further, you can get some. So the further you go, the more you get, really.
So now let me ask you about what happens. Let's say you place in the top 10 in the first round,
Hmm.
and then you miss the second round. You miss the cut. You have a bad Friday, Thursday, and Friday. And you miss the cut by 8 strokes on Friday. Does placing in the top 10 or winning the previous one, does that help you at all, or is it just you have to
Yes.
be in the?
Yeah, no, it does. If you make the cut, so from stage one to stage two, if you make the cut, you get something. And if you make the cut at stage two, you get something. So, yes, it's just the further
right.
along you go, the more you get.
And
So,
does it does it
obviously,
does
the goal would be to get three, but
the further up you finish on the leaderboard in each particular event, does that help the next event, or are they scored individually?
so the stages are all separate. And they're all four, well, I think one of them is 5 rounds, but they're all 4 rounds. So once you're done with that stage, like if you win it, the next stage it's new field, new tournament. So it doesn't, yeah, it's like a new whole different ball game at that point.
Hmm.
Okay. So like your
All right.
previous rounds don't accumulate, they don't count to any future rounds or anything.
No, I mean you could get status from it, but that doesn't count towards like a leaderboard. No.
Okay. So
Mhm.
like finishing well in round one doesn't help you in starting in round two.
Right. I mean, like if I so it's stage one. If I finish in the top 10, let's just say, I'll
Okay.
make it to stage two, but then it's a new tournament in a sense. So really it's three separate tournaments is what it is. Um, and the better you do, the more status you get.
Obviously.
Aha.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. It's simple, but it's
Yeah.
tough. But it's
Yeah.
it's
I
simple,
mean,
simple
I,
concept.
I haven't followed much of women's golf in recent years, but I am keeping my eye on what events you're participating in. So I'm always looking, up on the golf schedule. I haven't been able to find you, but I'm looking.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that.
I mean, I did follow a little bit back in the '80s. Um, well, since like the '90s with Annika Sorenston, because she was a great golfer, and another one, Nancy Lopez, back in the
Hmm.
'80s. So those were the top
Mm.
two, and the ones I followed.
Yeah. Well, those are
Plus, her
two
husband was
greats.
a yeah. Plus, her husband was a World Series champion.
Yes.
Yeah, that game. But I'll dive into that later. So she knows. Here comes night of Mets wedding. Oh boy. Of course, you weren't born yet, but you know the story.
No, not yet.
I was a sophomore in high
Neither was
school.
I.
Hmm?
I
Neither
was a
was I.
sophomore.
Oh,
I was a sophomore in high school.
that's way before my time.
Yeah. Yes, I'm that old. I may not look it, but I am.
So in the last event that you were in, how well did you? What was your approach to it, and did you feel like you now having made the cuts a couple of times and had some success, did you feel like another day at the office, or was it more pressure, less pressure?
Well, the last tournament I was in was the qualifier for next year's KPMG PGA. And I feel like it was my third year doing it. I was out in Nashville. I
Right.
think every year I've done it, I've felt more pressure to make the top eight, which get into next year's PGA. So, yes, I felt a lot of pressure to make that top eight. But I felt confident based on my performance at Hazeltine. So it was kind of like I was kind of feeling both. I was feeling confident in my game, and then I was feeling nervous because I wanted to make sure I made the qualifiers. So Finished fourth, which was great. I was very relieved. So I will
Yeah.
be playing at the KPMG next year, which is awesome. But
See?
yeah, it was a good 3 days. I played very consistent. I wouldn't say it was my best golf, but it was very consistent golf. I shot
Mm.
71, 71, 72. So just
Those are
right here
those
the
are
whole
all
time.
solid score. It's not like you shot a 66 and then shot a 75 and you just
Right.
lucked out.
Mm.
Yeah. So I just stayed steady and obviously I
Right.
wanted to go lower. But I was glad to keep it steady the whole time. And then the main goal was to finish in the top eight. So to have done that was what we wanted to go there to accomplish, and we did. So
Well, I
And
mean,
then
some
you
of the golfers have done that. They shot a 68 one day and as 77 the next. Like, yeah, boy, was I off today.
yeah,
Ah,
that's golf. I know
that's
it's golf.
like what the hell?
Thankfully, that didn't
yeah.
happen to me in Nashville. So
Is
No,
it is that
I've
sorry?
I hadn't had a chance to check out what your last rounds were like, so appreciate that. Yeah, no, being consistent and shooting consistently, I think the consistent score is super important because then it allows you to just fine tune the thing
right,
and,
yeah,
and find those little things that just chip away and chip away, and then next thing you know, you're winning tournaments.
yeah. It's just staying consistent, and I think you know. The greens were a little bit like inconsistent speed wise. It'd be my only critique for the course. And I think that's why I didn't make as many putts as I wanted to. Um, but I didn't get in any trouble. I just hit fairways, hit greens, and if
Yeah.
putts fell, great. If they didn't, I just was kind of playing par golf. So I mean, it was just kind of one of those events where you can't really complain because I shot 2 under for 3 days.
Right?
But it's like I wanted to go lower, but I'm glad that I stayed steady and I didn't, like you said, go really high and then really low. So,
Is
um,
it a rough course?
no, it's a great. I played there last year. I
Yeah.
love the course. It's a great
Mm.
course.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just noticed like some greens were slower than others, so it kind of
Mm.
like threw me off a little bit. But
Yeah.
I played well, so that's all. I hit fairways, hit
Sound
greens, and that was it. So
Because
just not well enough to win, but
I was catching some a little bit of the British Open, now known as the Open, and they said the course was a little bit rough than in previous years. So I thought maybe that translated into that. And is your season over? Because like, do you follow the same schedule as the men's PGA, or your schedule? I mean the LPGA schedule different.
yeah, the LPGA schedule's a little different. So they play, I think, until like November, which I know the men
Eh,
don't. Yeah. So, um,
hopefully
but
in warm climate.
yeah, well, they come to Florida in November, so I'm hoping to get an invite to that tournament. But um,
Okay.
yeah, I'm still going to Q school. It's a little bit different. Q school lasts until November, so
Uh,
we will see. But I'd like to make it all the way to November for Q
oh,
school,
sure,
which would be nice. So
sure.
yeah.
if you were to make the cut in all three rounds of Q School or Q Series, does that give you that gets you on the LPGA for next year, correct?
Yes, that's right.
So that would be 20. So if you in November of this year, you'll know whether you're well or before. The first round is in September, right?
Right.
And so in September, you'll know whether you're playing. Is it months? Is it September,
Hmm.
October, November?
Yes.
So So in September, you'll know if you're playing in October. In October, you'll know if you're playing in November, and then November,
Right.
you'll know if you're playing next year in the LPGA.
So at the end of Q school, the top 30 get their tour cards for the following year, and then like the the underneath that, like 30 to 31 to 60, get like I think partial status. But honestly, I mean, obviously being on the LPGA tour next year would be great, but I would love to spend a couple seasons on the Epson tour, which is like the Corn Ferry tour for women's tour.
Okay.
So um, my main goal for next year is to have enough status so that I can travel every other week, whether it be LPGA or Epson Tour, and just play. Um, because I think, and I say this because I think me getting a season or two of Epson Tour under my belt will kind of
Okay.
prepare me better for the LPGA Tour.
Yeah.
instead of
Sure.
just throwing me into the LPGA tour because it's tough and I don't have a lot of experience. So I think just getting kind of just
Yeah.
having some fun on the Epson tour and kind of learning what the lifestyle is like, and you could still win great money on the Epson tour. I mean, I think the winner will take home like 30, 35 grand every event. So
Okay.
um yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
I just want to get some experience next year. That'd be
right.
really great.
I understand. I understand. It's kind of like, getting. Um, I don't know if you follow auto racing at all. I don't know if that's going to make any sense to
Mm-mm.
you. But so like there's tiers to the ranks of the drivers, and it's across this, so it's common across all motorsports. Is you start out in a lower series where with less powered cars, and you have fewer laps, and then you work your way up, and so it makes sense that you'd want to start out in a less competitive field, so you can get a feel for what the deal is like.
Mhm. It's kind of like the minor leagues in baseball, kind of like
Right.
developmental leagues. Like just, I'm only 22. I feel like it'll set me up for more success if I have some time on the Epson tour, um,
Right.
and then build my way and learn and grow to the LPGA. I think that would be the best, way to do it. I think that's the right way to do it. I think me jumping on the tour with no experience, I might not get the best out of it or myself,
Yeah.
you
Uh,
know.
and
Right.
especially if where you can't have fun.
Yeah, I think it'd be more stressful. I think because it kind of works out because the Epson tour starts in March and the
Okay.
first three events are in Florida. So
Right.
it'd be like I could play in all three, kind of get some hometown
To get
experience
wet.
here and then
Yeah.
travel a
Why
little
not?
bit. So I think it would be more kind of ease into it and learn.
Mhm. It's like going from playing local dive bars to Madison Square Garden overnight. It's
Yes,
a little bit
that's how I felt
intimidating.
playing in a major.
Madison
Yeah.
Garden dive bomb? Hmm.
Mm. No, it was really cool to see you
Thank
on
you.
on
Thank you.
in a major. So we're
Yeah.
really
Thank
proud of you
you.
for
Thank you. Yeah, it was
Well,
awesome. I'm glad to
yeah.
be back next year. To have that locked in is nice. Um,
yeah, at
so
least have one round
mhm.
you're getting to play in.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And it's a congressional next year, which is a very prestigious golf course with a lot of history. So I'm excited to see that and play up there in Maryland. It'll be fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that the DC area then?
Yeah. Hmm.
Sure is.
Will you get a chance to go? Have you played there yet, or?
I haven't, but I'm planning to go probably in the spring. We were thinking fall, but probably in the spring, maybe like April or May. Take a little scouting trip and see. Um, I think it's good to do that because it always kind of gives me an idea of the lay of the land before I get there. It kind of relieves some stress and some pressure.
Yeah, it's
Um,
awesome
so
too.
it's always nice to go see the course before.
Now, are you? This may be a stupid question, but when does the course close for to play
It's not a stupid
before
question.
it?
It depends. I think usually it's like a month
Oh,
typically. For a course like that, that's kind of always in perfect condition, kind of similar to Hazeltine. Um, it's very exclusive and prestigious out there. So I think probably like a month out, they'll shut it down for members, and then about 2, 3 months out, they'll start putting up the grandstands and things like that. So
Okay.
yeah, it's only like a month or two where they really have to shut it down, but. Um, like I said, a course like that is always perfect. So it doesn't
All
really take
right.
much.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure. I'm sure they course like that is $500 a round or whatever.
Oh yeah, it's
No,
crazy
I
out
no, I was just curious how late when was the last time that you were how late before the start of the tournament would you be able to get out there and get a round in? Like,
so for my scouting trip, probably the latest I can go would be like early May.
okay.
Um, but
Right.
for the actual tournament, I could probably get out there like Friday the week before,
Okay. Okay.
which I did this past year at Hazeltine. But I'm probably gonna get out there on like Sunday, um, Saturday or
Okay.
Sunday to play beforehand. I like to give myself a few days to get settled in.
Yeah,
If
that
I
makes sense.
have
Too.
that
Try to
luxury. So
get over any kind of jet lag, get any time
yeah,
difference. No, I know that
right.
would
And
be so
it's such a
stressing.
big
So
stage. It
that
just
won't be.
takes so much out of you because it's so big. But I think
Yeah.
this being my third year, I'll kind of be not used to it, but definitely more used to it than the
You're
first
more
year.
accustomed to what you're
Yeah.
getting into. So
Sure. That takes time to
Mhm.
do that.
Yes, it'll be great.
it won't be like last year or this year. I should say earlier this year where you didn't know nothing.
Right.
You only you barely knew anything. It's like you
Yeah.
because last year or last year where you didn't know nothing,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah, this
third
year I
time out.
definitely felt more comfortable at Hazeltine. I felt more I wasn't as like starstruck with everything. I
Mm,
was more like, yep, this is it.
Hmm.
how how long do you get? I don't know if an adrenaline rush is the right word, but how long does it after that first shot? You know, you get up to the green and you're teeing off for the tournament. How long does it take you to calm down and settle in? Is it that first shot and you're ready to go, or does it take a few shots? Or
Yeah, I mean, always on the first tee box, I'm nervous. Always have some butterflies. Like Thursday at Hazeltine, my first tee shot, I was shaking. I was very nervous. But I put it in the fairway, and it kind of all went away after that. I think once I put myself in a good position, I kind of get into a groove. Because even like my first tee shots, the rest of the week, I wasn't as nervous. I kind of got more used to it. Um, but yeah, the first tee shot, I always have some jitters. But once I put myself in a good position, I feel good, and I kind of cruise at that
yeah,
point.
Yeah.
put your head down and get to work.
Yeah, right.
Now,
Hmm.
I don't know where I was gonna go with that. I had a thought and it just kind of
It's okay.
Yeah.
butterfly. Speaking of butterflies,
Yes.
what's your approach to Q series this year? Are you gonna go out there and be aggressive, or are you gonna play it conservative, or are you gonna like pick your spots and
Mm.
Yeah, I think. Well, the first stage, I already know the course, and it's a very scoreable golf course. So I think with stage one, it depends. I mean, I think when I need to be aggressive, I will be, and when I have the
okay,
opportunity to be aggressive, I will be. Um, but on the first holes where I need to play it safe, I will. I
okay,
think it's kind of all strategy. Um, so for me, it's like, yeah, winning Q school would be great, but the main goal is
yeah,
just to get through as far as I can. So
right,
that's
of course,
playing strategically and then
okay.
also scoring when I need to.
Being picking your spots, being aggressive when you can, but remembering that two putting every hole is par, and
Yeah.
you can get out of there with even par will pass you on through.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if I can just like kind of played in Nashville, if I can just play consistent and
Yeah,
a few more birdies, I think I'll be in a great spot. So it's really just playing consistent golf, not getting too high or too low, staying away from big numbers.
Hard part.
So just consistent golf, I think, is key at Q School. I don't have to go, like I said, would it be great to win it? Absolutely.
Sure.
yeah, of course.
That's not my goal. My goal is just to get as far along as I can. And I think
You play,
a good kind of strategy for that is just playing consistent.
you play to win the game.
Hmm.
You play to win the
Exactly.
game.
No, I know it's a very cliche. Well, yeah, of course we want to win. You know,
Sure.
and yeah, we're rolling up right on college football and pro ball and you know if a coach comes out and says, oh, we're not playing, we have no intent, you know, it's like what coach is gonna sit there and tell the media that they don't have any chance? It's just
Yeah.
stupid, you know.
They,
So
they thought they were.
Yeah.
For the most
Golf's
part.
different. Golf's different in that way too. It's like baseball and football, there's always going to be a winner one night. It's like you
Yeah,
got two
Yeah.
chances, 50-50. With golf,
Right.
it's like
right.
if you win once a season, I mean, that's great.
That's
Yeah.
terrific.
So
Yeah,
golf is one of those things where the further along you go, the less you usually win. Um,
right.
but
Yeah.
it's all
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
finishing as well as you can and getting really it's all about making the cut. So
I
you
mean,
get
because
Right. Right.
you hardly ever see, a player win back-to-back tournaments throughout the season. I mean, you're lucky if you win two in a year or three, which is very unusual.
exactly. Yeah.
Mm.
It's like, you're competing against 150 people instead of one other person,
One team.
you know?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you're
Yeah.
competing against 150 individuals. Well, you're not really competing against anybody. You're playing the course,
Mhm.
and you're trying to beat the course. And there just happens to be 150 other people out there trying to do the exact same thing any
Right.
given in any
Exactly.
given weekend. And
Yes.
again, that's
Yes.
why I like it. I think golf is more closely aligned with motorsports as opposed to stick and ball sports like your
Yeah.
traditional football or baseball or hockey, basketball, where you have two teams that they all play on obviously golfers play on the same course, but like the course plays different for each golfer.
Right.
If you're somebody that can hit the ball, I know I not to disparage the ladies, but like 220, I think is good for a lady golfer off the tee. I could be wrong, but if you're a
Okay.
long drive golfer, if you're a long drive lady, if you're hitting 220, 225, 230, you've got a massive advantage right out of the gate.
Mhm.
And
Exactly.
and then and so, but like it's not the same thing. You're not heads up against the other golfers. Everybody goes out and it's staggered. You don't go out together. You're not playing against each other,
Mhm.
unless you're in unless like it's one of those tournaments where you're playing in a scramble or match play or something like that, where you are where you have like teams and it's combined lowest score, something like that. But your typical golf round is against the course,
Mhm. And the
and
course
there was
the
not
course
a
changes
question.
every week. It's not,
Mhm.
the course is different every week. It's not like baseball and football where it's the same thing, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's another reason why it's different as well. But you're right. You just play against the course, and whoever beats the course wins. That's
Yeah,
it.
and
Yeah.
that's why I more think of it more like motorsports in terms of because the racetrack yes, everybody races on the same racetrack, but the racetrack race is different for everybody on the racetrack. And
Hmm.
since in my mind, whenever I play golf, and again, I will ask a question at some point in these rambling long nonsense
No, you're
blocks.
fine.
Um,
Well, the only thing
you
is though, with racing, you're all trying to eventually you're knock everybody over. In golf, you're not intentionally trying to do that, though. Of course.
well, I think it depends on the motorsport. Like
Yeah.
in open wheel racing, knocking somebody out of the way is detrimental to your cause. And in
Yeah.
the same way that like playing into somebody in golf, it can be detrimental to your game because it ruins your flow. I guess I guess I can turn that into a question. Like when you're playing behind somebody in a tournament and not just like on an open course where it's public play and you've got four old guys in front of you who think that it's 1973 and a 18 hole round of golf should take 6 hours when you got two Gen Zs behind you that want to play an hour and a half like in an actual tournament. How do you manage pace of play and not playing too fast where you're interfering with the other golfers versus playing too slow where you're holding people up behind you?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, for me, I don't really think about it too much.
Okay.
I wouldn't say I'm a slow golfer. I'm not a slow player by any means, but I'm definitely not overly quick. I'm kind of right in the middle. I mean, you have your 40 seconds each shot. I take it. Um,
Okay.
I
Sure.
think especially in a tournament, every second counts, every shot counts because you're
Mhm.
playing for money. So, I mean, for
Sure.
me, if I find myself that I'm playing too quick, um, either I'll notice it or my caddy will notice it. But sometimes I also feel like I'm playing too slow, and if I get too slow and I slow down too much, I get in my own head. So, um, I try not to worry about like if there's a group behind me waiting. I don't worry about it, which probably isn't the
Okay.
best mindset, but I don't think about it because I don't want it to rush me. And if I'm
Right.
waiting, then I just kind of have to deal with it. I mean, usually on tour, the pace of play is really good, so you don't have to worry about it. But some events,
Okay.
you have to wait.
All right.
It's just the way it is. But the waiting just kind of, honestly, when you're sitting there waiting on the tee box, I don't really think about golf. I'm kind of just joking around with my caddy or my playing partners and just kind of waiting it out.
Relax.
Yeah,
Just
it's
Yeah.
one of those things
take,
where you
take
just
your
kind of get
breath.
into a groove and you just play.
And okay, so you say you're another, you got 40 seconds, and you most of the time you're going to use that full 40.
Yeah.
Um,
Right.
do you when you come up to an approach, whether it be in the tee box or on the fairway or a putt, what are you looking for in terms of trying to decide how you're going to hit the ball? Not just the club selection, but like when you get up there and you're looking at it and you pick your club, the wind speed. Are there things that you're looking like um landmarks or things that you pick out
Like for
when
if
you're
I'm
when
looking
you're
for a target,
yeah, are you looking for a target? Like what if you I could speak English, it would really help. If you're
Yes.
if you're, because like you pre-scout the course, you play a round or two, you have landmarks in mind. What happens when you don't see them, or you're not where you wanted to be? How do you navigate those situations in a tournament that are not like what you practice, what you were planning on doing?
yeah, I mean, if I get out of place, which happens, I'm not perfect. So, yeah, if I get into a spot where
Mhm.
I'm not where I originally intended to be, it depends. If I can get out of it, and kind of get back towards the green, great. Sometimes you got to take your medicine and just kind of get back into a good spot and play from there. So, I mean, yeah, if I can, usually if I'm ever out of place, I try to find a place that will get me in a good spot to score from there. Because if I'm unable to go after the green or the flag, it's getting back into a good position. So golf is all about positioning, and if you're out of position,
Right.
um, it's getting back into the correct one. So that's kind of how I look at it.
Okay, I have a hypothetical. Um, so it's you're on 18, last hole of the tournament. Would you
So,
rather be up by one, even, or down by one?
Up by one.
Up by one?
sure.
Yeah.
You
Hmm.
want to play? You want to play from the lead?
Yeah, for sure. I think if I have a lead on the last hole, I keep it super simple and I just don't try to attack anything.
Yeah.
Just put it in the fairway and put it on the green. If I'm
And
behind, it's the complete opposite. And I think even if I'm even, it's probably more aggressive because I want to get one up on that person on that hole rather than going to a playoff.
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah, I'd rather lead with the one lap to go myself. Yeah,
Yep.
it totally makes
Yeah.
sense.
Of course.
That way you don't have to be you can par the hole and force them to have to birdie.
Hmm. Exactly.
Watch the birdie. I, I had to do it. I had to do it.
Absolutely. Um. So when will you? So the first round of Q Series is in Florida, correct?
Yeah, actually, the first two are in Florida,
Two. Okay, I couldn't remember if
which
it
is
was both the
great.
first and the
Yeah, no,
second.
it's great for me.
Right. So, and that's September. Do you have anything? Oh, that's like in a couple of weeks then, eh?
Yeah, it's actually in like third week of September.
Okay, so about a month from now then.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
Yes, I know it's crazy. I do have a tournament this coming week
Okay.
in Orlando.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
a
Okay.
3-day
Well,
event.
thank you for being here.
Yeah, I'm very excited. It's the PGA section championship. So our whole section of PGA members will be
Yeah.
playing
Cool.
both men and women.
Okay.
So I'm very excited. It's big tournament, big purse. I'd like to win.
Yeah.
I have a couple goals. So I'm currently
Okay.
second in Player of the Year between men and women. So I think a good finish this week will bump me up to that first place spot. So I'd like to win Player of the Year. That'd be really cool. But Just want to play well this week. I haven't played since Nashville in a tournament, so it's
Okay.
been like three
Right.
weeks. So I'd like to
Right.
just get back into a rhythm, play well, and see honestly see what things need some final touch ups before Q school. See
Sure.
what things I need to work on before September, and then kind of cruise from there.
Go after it and get after it.
Yeah, exactly. I think I'll do pretty well though. I think tournaments like this, I play a little bit shorter yardage, so I kind of just
Okay.
stick to a game plan, and hopefully the putts fall. It's at a beautiful course. It's at Lake Nona,
Nice.
so it's
Okay.
perfect condition. So I'm excited.
Yeah, and the only thing is it's gonna be hot as hell though. That's the only
Yeah.
I
thing that I.
know, I know. Like I tee off early. I tee off at like
Very.
9:45 and
Oh,
7:45
that's good.
first two
Yeah.
days. So
Yeah.
I'm
That's
gonna
good.
beat the heat, but I know it's
Yeah.
crazy hot,
Yeah.
crazy hot.
Are you a big water drinker, or are you like a Gatorade girl, or?
Yeah, I mean, I only drink water on the course, and then I'll drink
Okay.
like Gatorade after the round.
Okay.
I'm very careful with. I know they have zero sugar Gatorade, but I'm very careful with sugar intake on the course. I don't want to crash. So yeah, a
I
lot of
understand.
water.
Yeah, no, I understand. I was just curious if you were like, no, I was just asking, like, because like I mean, I know we talked about you having sponsors before, and like if you were like, I would drink whatever, if they were like, here, have a Michelob, I'm like, okay, or and John Daly with
Yeah,
his
yeah.
Diet Cokes and his cigarettes, so
That's funny.
um,
Yeah, I'd love for Gatorade to sponsor me. I'm in.
yeah, no,
I
I
love Gatorade.
absolutely, yeah, yeah, no,
Gatorade's great.
um. No, I was just curious, like how what you did to hydrate. Are you a every whole drinker, or after every shot, or are you just whenever you feel thirsty,
Yeah.
or?
Well, especially in the summer, I like force myself to drink after every shot. Um, like every time I go to the cart or every time I go to my bag, I have to drink because I get really bad headaches when I'm dehydrated. I think that's
Mhm.
pretty common, but I get really bad headaches when I'm dehydrated. So um, I never want to be like almost done with a round and I have just a pounding headache. So I always make sure that I'm drinking plenty of water. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what do you do like for conditioning? Are you a running? Are you a runner? Are you a weightlifter?
Yeah.
Do you do
Yeah,
any kind of conditioning, or?
I am a gym rat. I do love the gym.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
so I've kind of
Okay.
changed my workout routine the past like few months, especially before I went to Minnesota for Hazeltine. I used to do some like heavy lifting squats, nothing too crazy. I'm very careful with that because I don't want to get hurt. I
Yeah.
also don't want to get huge. So
I hear
um,
you.
I'm kind of very, yeah, I do a lot of core. I do a lot of like kind of like Pilates style leg work to kind of like lean the legs out. A lot of core, a lot of legs, do some arm stuff, nothing too heavy. Um, I do a lot of walking on incline,
Okay.
a lot of
Okay.
walking. I do like to run,
All right.
but it is hard on your joints. So I do a lot of incline walking, Stairmaster, things like that. I'm kind of not quite a Pilates girl. I wouldn't say I'm a Pilates girl, but I'm kind of teetering. I kind of
Pilates
do
adjacent.
like
All right.
lean worked out, lean like lean building, not mass building.
Right.
You know,
Right, right. More
yeah.
staying fit than
Because I'm
bulking.
so tall, I don't really, I'm so
Yeah.
tall, so it's kind of easier to stay lean. And I never really been one to want to get all like bulky. So,
Right, right.
Right. Of
It's
course.
not like it's not like you're trying to push offensive linemen around out there.
yeah,
So
right, right,
it's not like you got a caddy for that. He carries the
right.
bag.
I don't have to carry the bag. Yeah,
Right.
You get him one of them hand cart things with the wheels on it.
yeah, exactly.
um when it comes to So when it comes to workouts, you're more of a more of cardio and
Yeah,
light strength training, but
Mhm.
you're not benching 225, squatting
no, no.
400 or
I
anything.
mean,
Yeah.
and when I was there was a couple years there when I was squatting a lot. I like squats. I
I like
do.
that too.
Um,
Mhm.
I kind of stopped myself because I never wanted to get hurt, and
Yeah.
it really doesn't. I can do other exercises that benefit me. It's not like I'm trying to be a weightlifter. So, but
Right.
in my peak, I mean, I was squatting. I could probably squat. Let me think. With the bar, probably almost 250, maybe twos,
Nice.
high twos, maybe mid twos. I don't really never
There you
really
go.
cracked, but yeah, I could squat a little bit. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
but I just chose to kind of go the
Okay.
more because core
Well,
is so important in golf.
right.
So that's
And
kind of the
plus,
more route I took, which I think is best.
no, no, I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Core work, core strength, because you want to get your hips turned. You want to be able to keep your
Yes.
shoulders in.
Precisely. Yeah. I
Keep
just,
that. Keep that.
I've never had an injury that's
Sure.
caused me a lot of problems, and I always
Right.
kind of thought, like, if I'm doing lifting and stuff, I'm risking it. I don't want to get an
Yeah.
injury. So I
Right.
stopped, but
Right. It's
definitely
not like
still working out.
it's not like you're trying to get in there and get in the trenches with guys that
Right.
are they can sled 700 pounds.
Yeah. That's not my
I
calling.
yeah, I definitely think core workout makes a lot more sense for a
Yeah.
golfer, male or female. Is that's where you generate all your power is in your hips, your shoulders, your hips.
Right. Exactly.
You try to avoid using your arms because you don't because you want your arms to be the lever.
Right.
You're not trying to generate power. This is my understanding of it, and you're
No, you're
saying right.
100%
So
right. Yeah. No, you're right. It's all core. That's it.
yeah, tight abs, being able to keep your abs, keeping your shoulders in, so you're not flaring that lead shoulder out when you're swinging through. Because you don't
Yes.
want that. You don't want to open your shoulder up. You're
No.
keeping all that tight and having a strong foundation.
Exactly. Yeah. Just
Good good ankles,
core
good
and
knees.
core and leg strength. That's it. That's a
Yep.
good
Yep.
good combo for a golf swing for sure.
Yep. Yep. That makes sense. And not to say that you don't want to hit arms, being having a
Yeah,
little bit of weight. If you can
Yeah.
curl 40 or 50 pounds 5 to 10 times, that's solid.
that's all I
You know,
need. Yeah, I've been getting more into like back and buys a little bit more lately.
sure.
But yeah, it's just staying lean for
Sure.
me. I mean, watching what I eat and things like that. But
Yeah, yeah, of course. Being
Yeah. Of
you know,
course.
good
it's,
nutrition is good
yeah,
nutrition is always the where you want to start.
right.
It's
Yeah,
important.
absolutely.
A solid a proper nutrition, and you know it's about managing your expectations on what you have available, because like especially when you start getting out on the road and it's McDonald's or Burger King because that's all that's open.
Yeah,
Having that ability to not hate yourself for what you can, not restricting, you're not having this super lean diet where it has to be. And especially for young golfers or young athletes of any type, you
Yeah.
know
yeah.
when you're um when if you don't have access, like an NFL team has a nutritionist and they have a whole staff,
Mhm.
or a football team, a baseball team, they have a full staff. For a golfer, it's you and, well,
Yeah,
unless you're like Tiger Woods or some Rory McIlroy
Right.
who can afford a 4 night stay at the Hilton with full kitchen and a full kitchen staff and that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
man.
Be having a good diet that's sustainable over the course of a season, that you're not gonna end up putting on 20 pounds over a weekend just to hate yourself on Monday and then starve yourself for 2 weeks, 3 weeks while you try to get back down to your playing weight. Just being able to maintain that, setting a good foundation that you can work with in the confines of the tournament schedule and lifestyle. I think is hugely beneficial.
it is for sure. Nutrition is important, especially because golf is a marathon. You're out there
Mm,
for 5 hours and you have to eat while you're out there, but you have to eat kind of in a way where you don't get too full, but you also don't get
mm,
hungry. It's kind of like staying in
mm.
the middle, and eating things
Yeah.
that'll keep your blood sugar even, not
Yeah,
spiking and getting down. So that's something
yeah.
I've mastered over the years. Took a lot of time, but I kind of have my on course diet kind of nailed down pretty good now. But yeah, I've always been one to eat clean. I think my parents have always been that way. So I kind of just grew up like that.
Sure.
But yeah, definitely having a
Yeah.
proper diet as an athlete makes a huge difference.
Yeah, and we I brought up John Daly already, and I was thinking about that earlier, and so we was thinking about when I was mentioning drive distance and all that, and I was thinking about what he could have done if he had had a proper diet. How good he might have been
Exactly.
Yeah.
if he
I mean,
was
for
a
him, it's kind of his niche, right? It's kind of his
yeah no
Diet
no
Coke and
he was
M&Ms.
yeah.
Yeah.
Case of Diet Coke and a pack of cigarettes. He's ready to go.
He's good. Hey,
He's
works.
ready to go. He's right.
He's a legend.
um,
Yeah.
Absolutely. You
Even
know,
when they make tournaments.
he was a character.
I don't
I'll
know what
give you that.
happened. He said he was having technical difficulties tonight.
Yeah, he was not available tonight, so I'm just holding down the fort, trying to
There
keep the
you
flag.
go. You're doing a great
Yeah.
job.
I
Yeah.
try. I
We're
try.
here.
It's nice when I have somebody like you on that I can
Oh,
work with,
thanks.
and Lou too. Whenever if you
Okay.
need to get off, that's cool. Me and Lou will carry on. We'll figure out something to talk about.
I
Yeah.
probably
But
will head off. Unfortunately, I do have to go to work early
Oh.
tomorrow. I have
okay.
Okay.
Pro Shot
Well, good
Princess
luck.
duties.
Oh.
Good luck next week.
Thank
Next
you.
Yeah.
Friday, next
Thank
week.
you. Yeah, I'll be posting about it and I'll be posting about Q school.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
try to keep everybody following along. But
Is the event going to be televised?
no, fortunately not.
Oh.
But I am trying to get a sponsor exemption, into the Annika tournament that's in
Okay.
November.
That's
And that will
awesome.
be on TV. So
What
yeah,
one
trying very hard.
one last question, and we'll
Yeah,
let
of
you plug your
course.
socials. Is it possible for you to stream it, or is it a no streaming type event?
So next week, there's always going to be like live scoring online. So like
Sure.
next
Yeah.
week in Q school, um, there will be scoring online, like live updates, but they don't have camera crews, unfortunately. I
Okay.
wish.
I
It'd be
I
I
cool.
see.
I was just wondering if maybe you could like go live on your Insta and we could check you out there. Or
I can force my caddy, but that'd be a lot of work.
yeah. Well, you
Yeah.
just get a tripod in your iPhone, and you'll be good to
Yeah,
go.
just every time. Yeah, that's not a
What
bad idea. Maybe I'll hire somebody to do it.
you get what you do is
Okay.
you just get a mount for your bag, and you put your camera in that, and
That's it. Yeah.
there you go. You get a couple of those charging banks that just the portable power packs, and
Get some
that's for it.
microphones and I'm set. Yeah.
Yeah. You get
Yeah.
one, you
Yeah.
get a lav mic, and yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. That's I wish I could do that. It'd be a great thing. It'd be awesome.
Yeah,
Oh boy,
you'd have
wouldn't
to
it?
like clear it through the event organizers and all that, and
Mhm.
I don't know if they'd go for that.
I mean, they can't stop me from streaming on my phone, but
No, they can't.
you never
I
know.
know. I know some venues, some tournaments are like absolutely no streaming, but those are
Yeah.
also big tournaments with like
Mhm.
Right.
TV and all of that.
Well,
So,
if you ever see me streaming, Adam, it's your get the credit.
all
So,
right, I'll take
there
Okay.
it. All right. Well, if you
thanks
want to head
guys
on,
so much. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank
yes, you
you.
too,
Thanks
Ew.
and we
for all
Good
the
luck.
will
love.
stay in
I
touch.
appreciate it.
Let us know when you're going to be able to come back on. If you want to come back on before
Yeah,
you head out for Q series, Q school, whatever we're calling it
I
this year.
will. I will.
Yeah. Generally,
And I'll definitely keep you guys put. I'll definitely see you guys in the next couple weeks, either
Yeah,
and if you
before,
get
fire.
free
middle, or
Saturday, come
after
on my
Q school.
show.
We'll work it out. So
Yeah.
And
If
if
we
you're
get free
available
Saturday,
on Saturday,
come on
you got
mine.
nothing to do.
Saturday
Got a show
evenings,
too.
usually.
4 to
Sometimes,
6.
sometimes
Yeah,
depends on the Saturday.
fair
Right.
enough.
Well, I'm in the late afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay, noted. Back pocket noted. I got you.
Good. Well,
All right.
next time you come on, we'll go into more detail.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks,
All
guys.
right.
All right. Yep.
Bye,
You have a
Nicole.
good one now.
Great night.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yep. Bye bye.
Yeah. Or is there a more quick? Good night and good luck. Oh boy.
Yes. Good night.
I,
Good luck.
or sometimes I say good night and good riddance. No, boy. Well, that's sarcastic version.
Am I coming through?
So far,
Sarcasm
yeah.
is my middle name. Hey, Brad.
I'm about to throw the internet through the fucking window in my house right now.
Uh-oh.
I tried to get on here and I have internet issues, and then it goes out and goes back in.
Mm. Wow.
Oh, I'm
And I
sorry,
was
buddy.
on here the entire time listening to you guys talk to her, but I every time I got on there, it would slow everything down.
Mm.
I had the two screen thing hooked up. That worked for a little while. Then that stopped
Yeah.
working. Then I have
Well,
an extender, and that's not working either. And I'm like, okay, I'm about ready to go to T-Mobile and get a freaking router just from them and get off the Spectrum.
I have
That
Verizon.
sucks.
That,
So do I.
that's
In
what I
fact,
use.
last week while I was doing my show, Verizon had a glitch, and they called, but they kept going out. So I'm like, what's going on? It
Mm.
turned out that Verizon was screwed up.
Mm.
I think somebody barfed on the wire or something. Oh boy.
Something like that, right?
Yeah, it could be. Which is disgusting when I think about it, but that's how it happens.
Yeah, I'm pissed off
Bird.
right now. I'm pissed
Right.
off.
I would be too. I'm sorry you missed
So
it
would I.
because I love having Nicole on, and I love listening to you when you get to ask her stuff and everything. So
Yeah.
Like I said, I was listening the whole time. I heard I was, even though my camera was off and my microphone was muted, I was listening and stuff like that. So
Oh my.
I'm just, I got on here like 10 minutes after 8 o'clock, got to record. So again, it's recording, but again, it's not, and then I go on and look at what could be causing it. And it's telling me all these things. Oh, close the windows and take off this video and add this. It's like, dude, I do everything it says and I'm still getting negative. I mean, as you can see, I don't have my background on because it told me to
yeah,
turn it
I
off.
saw that when you
Right.
It
saw
told me
that
to
when
turn it
you.
off. Oh, that's causing low bandwidth. Well, I mean, I may have to go upstairs to be close to the freaking machine upstairs. I don't want to do that because I don't have an office up there.
Right.
And no,
Of course.
I have more room down where I'm at now than I do anywhere
Yeah,
else. And I don't.
that's
And
what
this is just happening all of a sudden. This wasn't happening 2 weeks ago. All of a sudden now, it's like every time I get on here for a show, whether it's this one or it's Alex's show, my freaking internet goes berserk. I
Mm.
I don't know if maybe it's my computer for all I know. Maybe I need to get a new computer. Maybe I need to use this one just for typing and get a Windows laptop or something. I don't know. No idea. I'm not happy right now. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm watching the Field of Dreams game though.
So am I.
They're up 5-1 over the Twins
Good.
on Netflix. So yeah, on Netflix. It's
Better than
interesting
listen
how
to Joe.
they've turned that field around from the movie to what it looks like now. It actually looks like a major league ballpark. They've added seats
If
to
you
it
play
and
it,
all that stuff. So yeah,
if you play it, they'll come.
that's right. If you build it, people come. So yeah. Well, hey, good job with the interview, man. I like I said, I did hear everything. So, and then again, I had to turn off streaming on YouTube because that's another thing that said was slowing things down. And I'm like, now I got to post this thing manually tomorrow, which I don't mind doing, but I like it to record automatically, so then I don't have to go back and I just like I said, I'm not gonna not post this because it was a good interview with Nicole. If it was like just a throwaway show, then I would just say the heck with it, and I won't post it. But so
I love when Nicole's on. It's always a great time when she's available and we can bring her on for a little while.
Yeah.
So. I'm sorry you didn't get to participate.
Not your fault, brother. Don't worry about it.
I know.
Yeah,
I
was
know. Still, it sucks because we always play off of each other so well.
Well, and I had a question. I read an article that some guy, I guess, faked a hole in one in a charity tournament, and I wanted to ask her about it, and it was on ESPN, and I wrote an article about it on NGSC, I'm happy to say that our numbers are up, that we are
Yeah.
now
That's awesome.
on the website. Our numbers are up. We are now been moved to 4 new platforms, which means more eyeballs, um,
Oh yeah.
which is good because obviously that'll be better for numbers.
You
Uh,
said he faked a hole. How do you fake a hole in one?
I
so I guess Lou, what he did is he went out before the tournament started, and he
Uh-huh.
was and found out. I guess maybe he found out somehow that he was starting on that hole, and then put the ball in the cup, and then I guess hit a shot, and they couldn't find the ball, so he went and looked in the cup, and I guess he's a member of the golf course that the tournament was being held on, and
Mm.
he decided to quit being a member. So,
Well, we have a
uh,
word for that in this show, of course, and we know what that word is, don't we? Dumbass.
well, no. First of all,
so
I understand. Hole in ones are, they're lucky shots. I don't care what anyone says. That's a lucky shot. It's
Mm.
not. There's no skill involved in those shots at all. I mean,
No.
yeah, I guess there is skill
it's
with your
90
golf, but
it's 90% luck, 10% skill.
I've
Right.
come within a ball length of one in my golfing career. So the ball,
So this
here's the
is
hole. The ball was laying like right there on the cup, just didn't fall in.
so this
I,
is what I found. Amateur golfer Zach Holliday went viral and
there
resigned
you go.
from Wing Haven Golf Country Club in O'Fallon, Missouri, after security camera footage caught him sneaking on to the course at dawn to plant a golf ball inside the cup on a par 3 hole before a member tournament. Early morning, security footage from a maintenance shed showed Holland driving to the fourth green around 5 or 6 to drop a ball in the hole. Uh, then he faked an emergency, claiming a sick relative. He told his partners to go ahead, or that he would play the par 3 hole ahead of them to save time. I think that should be but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And meet them at the green where they discovered and celebrated the ace. And then, of course, the course employees checked the camera footage to verify the real shot and exposed him driving to the green ahead of time.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess it was, and a lot of times in tournaments like that, when you get a hole in one, there's usually a prize on most par threes.
Yeah.
The
Yep.
golf course that I worked at, our hardest par three was usually $1,000 in cash, or if they were rich enough, they would have a car, there to give away. But most of the time, it was like $1,000 in cash or something like that. And then
I'll take it.
every par three had some kind of, you would get a, you know, um, half a year membership to a massage club or something to get massages. It was free massages for like 6 months. It would be something along those lines. That was what
A
most of
year's
them
worth of
were.
membership or
Yeah, for someone to sneak on the golf course, um, and fake a hole in one,
it's
that's
pretty
a little
dumb.
far fetched. I mean, I've heard some extreme cheating, but that's got to be by far.
That's right up there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a guy on YouTube that I watched. His name is Mr. Short Game, uh,
Mm.
and he showed all of the ways that people can cheat on the golf course. And you're not supposed to dock your club. You can put um, like Neosporin on your driver head to keep it from, that way the ball stays that way,
Oh,
stay straight.
right.
Um, I've seen people use green lifesavers in the middle of the fairway and put their ball on the lifesaver to get like a tee up and hit it, and then it makes it look
Wow.
like it's grass because it's green.
You're
Uh,
a genius.
yeah, I mean, I can't say that I've never not cheated on the golf course. I probably have in my many years growing up and um, playing the game. I think everyone will fluff their ball here or there, or move a shot. I think one of the ones I had issues with was when you have a hazard or the water or whatever, there's a line. Well, if your ball is inside that line, you're not allowed to ground your club. Well, I did that many, many times growing up with my uncle, and he'd say, "Well, you know what? It's going to be a 2-stroke penalty every time you do it." So after a while, you stop doing it. After a while, you stop grounding your club because it's against the rules. Um, so, but yeah, you know, I wanted to ask her about that because I wanted to ask her if, she working at a golf course herself, if she's ever had anyone during a tournament or anything like her being out there has anyone ever gone to that extreme to cheat for a hole in one or something?
Yeah, what's the craziest? Well,
Yeah,
I said she'll be back in a couple of weeks. So
I'll message her and that'd be cool. Maybe by then I'll have something figured out to where I'm not, worried. I mean, we have Betty next week, and then we have our football show at the end of the month. And
right.
I'm gonna try, guys, to really honestly try to do a show on the 3rd of September,
Okay.
even though I'm gonna be out of
Okay.
state. I was gonna try to carry everything with me in my backpack. I'll see if I can do a show. I shouldn't have too much of a problem. My plane leaves here at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'll get there at 5. It's not
Mhm.
like it's that long of a flight, and if I can get adjusted and in by 8, and where I'm not, being rushed around to eat food or something like that, or if you guys want to start the show, I'll let Adam
Yeah.
take the host part of it, and then if I can get on, then I'll try to get on up there the
All
best.
right. Cool.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about that the other day. I've never done the show outside of the state, so that would be a first for this show. I would be doing it outside of the state of Florida, um, which I've never done. I don't think I've ever really not done it in the place that I was living in. So I've never done it live anywhere. I
Well,
just
wait. So you said 2 hours. So where are you headed though? You said a
I will
state.
be in Michigan, the town.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on a second. Let me look this up real quick, guys, because I'm going for my dad and grandfather's family reunion,
Ah.
and I've been invited for years to go, and I don't. I'll be in Mayville, Michigan, is where I'll be located.
Okay.
Mayville.
I'm in a house. Um, my dad rented a B&B.
Mm.
For now, my girlfriend's going with me. My sister, brother-in-law, and my nephews and my niece are actually driving up. They're leaving Wednesday night, and then they're driving to Tennessee. I'm not sure what city in Tennessee they're stopping in. They're stopping in Tennessee, and then they're driving the rest of the way to Michigan, and they'll get there on Thursday, the same day that we arrive on the plane. So, yeah, because flying
Yeah.
is expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So,
If you leave
Dude,
now, you might make it.
like I said, if I can hop on, that
driving.
I'll try to do it. I know, my dad will be there, and it would be kind of cool to have my dad watch a show. I mean, another thing I've never had either. I've never had anybody watch the show while I'm doing it. So, that'd be kind of cool too to have a.
That would be.
That's always fun.
And again, the reason I don't do it at a bar is because it's too noisy.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I can't control the
Yeah.
background noise.
Right.
And,
Well, it's not the reception probably sucks anyway.
well, and then you have people, people walking by, and if they hear, like, say we're talking about, the WWE, or we're talking about baseball, and they don't like what we're saying. Oh, you guys are full of shit. You don't want to have that
Thank you.
shit
It'd be
going on.
It would be different to do it in a bar. Like I'd love to do it in a bar. I'd love to do a live show. If it was something where we were like, it was promoted and people knew about it,
Yeah,
and they were
there you
coming
go.
to see us, And you know, it was people that liked the show and liked what we did and wanted to see us do it live. You know, that'd be cool. I'd love to do it from a bar or a venue. You know, if we ever got big enough where we could host a tournament, host an event. Yeah, I'd absolutely do it. But
Yeah, they can be kind of
we're
hard to
just
hook up
gonna
though.
try and set up in a bar, bringing all of our random equipment into a bar that doesn't know we're gonna be there.
Yeah, I would, Bud, make sure that they knew ahead of time that I was going to do it. But yeah, it's even that you're walking into a bar with a laptop, and I'm walking in with my 3-screen setup, my microphone, and my light. They're like, "What the fuck is this guy doing in here?" You
Well,
know?
I want to do a bar with a podcast, and but no, never mind.
Well, and
Okay.
I had a friend who was a sponsor a long time ago, More P3. I used to talk about the menu on the show every time I would come on here. He bought me my first microphone that I ever had, the first microphone that I ever had. He bought, and he had a bar, and he wanted me to do it at the bar on Thursday night. And actually, he was doing, they were doing like a discount. They would say, "Hey, if you hear this on the Walker Report, mention it, and we'll give you 10% off your bill." Well, I don't know if it ever occurred, if anyone had ever heard about it or not, because you'd have to be local to be able to do that.
Right.
But I asked him on an occasion, I said, "Hey, you know, is there any chance I could ever do it live?" The problem is the restaurant didn't stay open till 10. So I would do half a show and then have to come home and do the other half at home. So that's not going to happen. I would have to make sure wherever I'm doing a live event, I would make sure that it was open till 10. And they wanted us there. I mean, that's the thing too. You can't, like you said, you can't just show up out of the blue and go, "Oh yeah, I'm going to do a podcast here. You know, I'm going to take up a table or two to do this because I have all this equipment." You know, I don't, you know, I wouldn't want to do that. I would want to make sure ahead of time that hey, I have permission to be here. I'm going to, but then, you know, I've gone to a local bar not too far from me to watch USF games, and halfway through the game, your ass hurts so bad because the chairs hurt. You know, and you're like, you're uncomfortable. And then now you gotta sit for 2 hours. You're like, "Oh God, you know, now I gotta." So
like a pair of nails.
No, like I was saying, like it'd be fine. It'd be fine if we were like invited in to do the show, and we could bring our gear and get set up and have. You know, if we had a producer, you know, and we had mics and because I've seen there's a lot of TikTokers who get invited to go do things and sports related stuff. And it looks like a lot of fun. But
I'd be totally down for it, bro. I'd be totally down to do that anytime.
But without the technical support and the technical know-how and the people to help us pull it off, we're just a bad sports joke walking into a bar. Three podcasters walk into a bar.
I had one of the first, I think, either this show or the Sunshine State, but I don't remember which one. I think it was this one. I had a producer for a while. He would come on right before I got on here, and he would, you know, they'd have some slogan. "Oh, welcome. This is the Walker Report on this network, and this is your host, the sports nerd, Bradley Walker." And then he would cut in, and my picture would show up. But I don't have the money. You know, we don't have the money right now to have a producer. I would love to have someone to produce and have someone to cut videos and you know, clean videos up and stuff like that.
Right.
But maybe, you know, like I said, with the numbers on our website going up, maybe down the road I can hire somebody to do this, to produce and stuff like that. We'll see. Like I said, we'll see. Again, that was the article you looked up, Bud, was the one I wanted to ask her about because again, she works at a golf course, and I wanted to ask her. I'm happy to hear that she's got what, 3 rounds of Q school, so she starts what, in a couple weeks in September at Q school. Okay.
Right. So next week she has a tournament in Orlando, so she's been doing that, and that's a local tournament. It's a regional thing with all of her PGA friends, and then Q school or Q series starts in September, and also in Florida, but I'm not sure where.
I'm sure the hell hope she gets into the Annika, because if I get media credentials, I can guarantee you day one I'm following her around for 18 holes. I can guarantee that. I will follow her around. If she, maybe I'll follow around both days, both Thursday and Friday. And then
Yeah,
maybe
that's
after I'll say, hey, any chance I could get an autograph? So when you do get big, I'm one of the first people that has your autograph. So
yeah, absolutely. That'd be
yeah.
tight. That'd be
Same
so
here.
cool.
Same here.
But yeah,
Um,
if she qualifies for or if she gets a sponsors exemption for the Hanukkah, I will definitely follow her on
yeah,
Thursday
yeah,
and Friday. I'll make sure that
yeah,
if she's the first tee time off at 7 a.m., well, my ass is out of bed at 5:30, so I'm at the golf course by
5:30,
7
huh?
a.m.
Okay.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, no,
So,
I'm looking for, yeah, it's been fun having her on the show for the last how many years we've been having her on and getting to know her as well as we have and getting, encouraging her to pursue it, not that she needed our encouragement, but it's been fun. It's been fun to be part of her career.
yeah, I met her, but on my buddy Michael Adams show, they record shows. They they get guests and they do they'll get a certain athlete from a certain sport, and then they'll do like the best of, and they'll give
Mm.
each co-host or each guy has a certain player or event, and you get 2 minutes to talk about the event and give your major points. Then everyone votes. Now you can't vote on your own thing. So at the end of the and near the end of the show, he'll say, "Okay, who made it on the Mount Rushmore for the New York Yankees?" And he'll give you these names. So who are you voting for? And then
Hmm. Yeah.
the guest
Maggio.
will usually be the guy, or either he or she will be the one who votes on the person that gets on there. So Nicole was
Hmm.
on his show, and I've got to play golf with Nicole too. I got to play 9 holes with her. But that's how I met her, and
Right.
I kept her number, and I said, "Hey, I'm on my own show. I would love to have you come on." And now we've had her on, I think, what, a handful of times.
Yeah, like
What?
half.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's been our most consistent guest over the years.
Yes.
Yes.
I think our most popular, or the one that's had the most clout, was obviously Matt. So I'm just going to say that right out loud. I
Right.
mean, for someone who had $500,000 in their bank account from Shohei Ohtani, I think that's pretty big. Pretty
Run with the
big.
money.
But no, I'm glad too. I'm hoping if she gets through Q School, the Q Series, and she gets on tour. And I do agree. I like her mindset too, with her going to um, not the Corn Ferry Tour, but whatever the LPGA Tour's version of that is, to get on there first, because that's smart. Because in that way, it will give you a chance to get adjusted to tour life without being the pressure of being on tour with the big stars like the Nelly Cordas and the Charlie Halls and the Brooke Hendersons and all those girls who have been on the tour for years. So I do agree that she's going to do that. And maybe I'll look at their tour calendar, and if they have an event that's not too far away from me in Florida, I'll maybe apply for media credentials and go see her on the minor tour before she gets up to the LPGA.
So
Yeah,
this so
that'd
it's
be.
like it's like the women's version of the Live Tour.
No, I don't know.
Okay.
You know what? Honestly, well, I've been writing articles about that too, where I wrote one today about John Rahm possibly. If John Rahm leaves the Live Tour, they're in trouble. If they've lost Patrick
Yeah.
Reed, they've lost Brooks Koepka, they're losing all these guys. They're all, and again, at the end of the day, we all thought that the PGA
Right.
was going down. Well, obviously, no. The PGA was like, "Yep, we're just going to stay here and keep doing our thing." And oh yeah, we're gonna outplay you, and they did. At the end of the day, that they're there and they're not going
You
away.
certainly did.
And when you have the DP World Tour, which is used to be what used to be called the European Tour, now it's the DP World Tour.
Oh yeah, European
They
Tour.
are partnered with the PGA, so you're SOL because you're getting all those players now that are eligible on that tour that can now play on the PGA Tour too. And what the PGA Tour had that Live doesn't have is the majors. That's the thing that
Right.
defines the tour. And the LPGA, actually, I think a week from today, starts their 5th and final major of the year, which is their Open Championship. I'm not sure where they're playing. Let me look that up real quick.
5? Oh, wow.
Yeah, the LPGA has 5 majors, which is shocking. Let me see here.
Oh, they had 3.
No, because they have the U.S. Open. They have the one that she played in, the KMPG PGA Women's
That's a major.
Championship.
That's a major. I know.
So let's see here. Where is it? The Open Championship is at Royal Lytham and St. Anne's in Lancaster, England. So it's in England. So they're getting ready to be there. What did they already play already? Did I miss that? Maybe I messed up. Because that says July 30th to August 2nd. Maybe I missed it. Maybe I had the wrong dates. I thought that it was coming up August 20th. Maybe I read that incorrectly. Whoops. Maybe I read that in. Wow, maybe I did read that wrong. Because I thought I had looked it up. Let's see. Thought I had already looked that up on the LPGA's website, and maybe I read it incorrectly. I thought that I. Oh, I did. Damn it, I did. It's the KP or KPKC Women's Open in Alberta, Canada. I read the wrong one. Yeah, I read the wrong one. Yeah, they've already had their Open Championship already, and I missed it. Okay, my bad. Yeah, the Annika is on November 12th through the 15th, and I have the whole week off to go cover that tournament again. It was a lot of fun last year. Kind of getting my feet wet at a golf tournament because I had never covered one before. Now I know how it all works. Now the Solheim Cup is September 11th through the 13th in the Netherlands, so they're on European soil.
It goes into a Monday.
Yeah, because the 11th is on a Friday.
A Saturday.
Is it Saturday?
Yes.
I have the 11th as Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Oh, I could be wrong.
Well, what's actually, what's scary is, it's been 25 years this year. So that's just amazing how fast time goes by that we had that, very big tragedy in New York and in in the Pentagon and all that stuff. So, but there's been some topics that have popped up here recently. I wanted I talked to my partners about it, but they don't want to put the article on the website about but you know what? I'll ask Betty next week about the WNBA and where they stand with their rules of who plays in there and who doesn't. And I wanted to write an article about it, but my partner's like, yeah, I don't know if we want to push the button or the envelope on that because then I think, no, you don't want to because you're getting viewers in and you don't want to lose them because of political beliefs or whatever. And I draw the line on certain things when it comes to that kind of stuff, and I'm not getting political on here. We don't talk politics on here. I don't, and I don't want to piss anybody off, or I don't want to make anybody upset by what I believe in, but I do respect on what everyone else believes in because that's just what a human would be. But there are things too that are just sometimes how small we are. You may want to wait until you see what happens, and then don't assume.
No, I know.
Just wait. Just be patient with it and see what happens. So I'll wait and see what exactly goes down.
Yeah, see what comes of the certain individuals doing things that are nothing but sensationalism.
Yeah,
They're clout chasing.
Yeah, I don't like that anyway.
correct.
They to dance around it as best I can. There has to be there's got to be some kind of test that individuals can pass where that they no longer have a genetic advantage before they can enter any league. If it was, I know what you're talking about, and I'm going to try to dance around it as best I can because I know you said you don't want to get political. We don't have
Well,
to
I
get
was gonna,
political.
I was gonna say, but too, the WTA, which is the Women's Tennis Association, they have come out and I was listening to a interview today that they want to. You were just talking about a test, so that's why I
Hmm.
brought it
Hmm.
up. And I think I forget what her name is. She's one of the top tour players right now. But she said, "Hey, if they want us to take a test to make sure that everything stays pat the way it is and the way it's supposed to be, I'll take as many tests as they want." So you have
Like,
a woman athlete that will say, "Yes, I am a woman, and I'll take the test." So I'm going to leave
and
it.
like,
So
because like again, and this is
Yeah.
it. You're straying into that gray area of. But what I was gonna say is, if it was the other way, it was flip the other way, and it was somebody wanting to transition. I'm just gonna rip the band-aid off. It was somebody transitioning to the other side, and they were 6'2", 250, and could run a 4.40 and wanted to be a man and play in the NFL. There would be no debate. We wouldn't be having this conversation.
mhm.
We wouldn't be having
Mhm.
this conversation. And so like if they if you're if you've done everything, you've gone through the treatments, and you've gone to the head shrinkers, and they have confirmed and you have a diagnosis and and you're not just some clout chasing asshole like the two
Right.
dudes that are currently clout chasing assholes wanting to play in the WNBA because they're clout chasing assholes. And if you no longer have if your hormones have if you can genetically, if your hormones have balanced themselves out to be no higher than a uh birth female, I guess is a good word for it, then
Mm.
it is what it is. It's not you don't if at that point you no longer have a competitive advantage.
I just believe that if you're not born a female, then you shouldn't be playing in the WNBA.
Exactly.
That's just, and if that gets me in a lot of trouble and with the show
And
and so on and so forth, then so
are
be it.
there
If that's what people believe,
yeah
I respect everyone's beliefs, and you can believe that, but that's where I
no
draw the line in sports. Being a sports guy
and
that I am, so
And the thing for me is that I don't see a lot of trans women out here clamoring to play in the WNBA. It's just these morons who are these clout chasing morons who are doing it for a publicity stunt.
oh, no doubt, bud, no doubt, no. I mean,
Not walk away,
you
but
either they're doing it for clout, or they're trying to wake the WNBA up saying, "Hey, this is what says in your rules. You need to change it. Like, you need to change this so that you don't have guys like us clout chasing and all that stuff." So I think
Right.
they're trying to. There are ways to shine eyes on this other than how they're doing it, and that's that. I mean, again, we can talk about that with Betty next week because she'll be on talking to us about the WNBA, and
yeah.
I would like to talk with her about it because she gets paid to do as a writer. So that would be somebody
Right.
that I would want to really get into depth with. And um, I have to say too, and I don't mean to change the subject, but I'm going to
Sure.
anyway.
Happy to change the
Um,
subject.
I again, and maybe sorry if I'm repeating myself, but I never saw myself as a wrestling writer, and that's what draws eyeballs to the website.
Mm.
I don't know why. I don't know why, because again, we all know that wrestling is the most scripted sport of all. According to some
Right.
people out there,
Right.
that every sport is scripted.
It's still real to me, damn it.
Yeah, they have the NFL is set up for week 1 that this team's going to win. Like the Seahawks were set up to win the Super Bowl. There was a photo that came out at the beginning of the season and had Drake May and Sam Darnold in the front of the line, and that's the Super Bowl, and that's the way it ended up. I don't want to hear that bullshit at all.
That's
You know,
ridiculous.
I know there are people out there that I had a buddy of mine who's a Florida State fan who he comes to me the other day and says, well, how do we get Mike Norvell fired? I go, all you have to do is lose games. He's already on the hot seat. We could talk about that in a couple weeks.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I said, he goes, well, we could bring back Jimbo Fisher. I go, I don't think he's welcome back at Florida State.
No.
Go to A&M in a pretty hostile section. And he goes, we could bring back Will Muschamp. I go, Will Muschamp, as far as I know, is retired. He coached at Central Michigan, if I'm not mistaken, before he retired. Maybe it was Western Michigan. I forget. I know it was one of the Michigan schools that he was part of.
What was that?
Before he retired. Huh?
Which one? Which name?
Muschamp. Was Muschamp Central Michigan or Western Michigan?
Don't know. I know it was. I know that the guy from Florida went to Central.
Yeah, that's him. That's him, bud. That's him. Muschamp. Yep. Will Muschamp was the one who. Okay, so he went from Florida to Western Michigan. Okay, I'm like, he's retired. Why would he come and coach for FSU when he was a coach at Florida?
Yeah. It's not. It wasn't Will Muschamp.
Nope.
No, it was the other one. I cannot remember his name now. Greg something, I think.
Greg.
I'm trying to think of Florida Gator head coaches that are, because I think the guy that was coaching last year already got another job too. The coach with Florida last year, the last couple of seasons, he already got another job. He's coaching somewhere else
Jim
too.
McElwain.
Oh, Jim McElwain. I'm sorry, that's the one I have. Jim McElwain. That's the one I was thinking of. Sorry, yes, he's right. That he was at Florida and then he went to Western Michigan. Okay. Or Central. Central Michigan. Will Muschamp. Was he a coach of the Gators, or am I thinking of a quarterback? Maybe I'm blanking. Maybe it's
here, give me just a second. He got moved up. He moved up to AD at Central. So, McElwain is the AD at Central.
Oh, okay. So
okay. Will Muschamp is DC at Texas.
Yeah, so he was a coach of Florida too.
Yes, you're right. He did coach Florida. You're right. Okay. You're right. 2011 to 14.
Why would Muschamp leave Texas to come to Florida State? I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
No. You have a better chance of winning, and you're in the SEC. You're in the SEC.
Why would you? And if he is 55, so he's not crazy old.
Right.
But he's already 55.
Work for Sark than work for Jimbo Fisher. Nothing against Jimbo Fisher, but I'd rather work for Sark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which they have a big game against Ohio State again, but this time it's in Austin, not in Columbus. So that's marked on the
Jimbo Fisher
top 10. Is Jimbo Fisher even coaching? But is he?
No, he hasn't coached. And this will be going. So he's an unofficial consultant for Memphis head coach Charlie Huff.
Okay. He's got the most pressure on him in the conference. Out of all the coaches I got to interview a couple weeks ago, he's the one I think that has the most pressure.
And he did some analyst work for ACC Network in 2025.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. I mean, he was coaching at FSU. And he was at A&M. He left FSU, went to Texas A&M for a couple years, and now he kind of think worn out his welcome at both. I just don't see FSU bringing him back. I think if Norvell fails, I think Deion's the coach. I really do.
That depends on how good he does at Florida or in Colorado this
Yeah,
year.
I think about
Because
too.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm guessing, but if my point is, I think if he has a shitty season and Norvell has a shitty season, they'll bring Dion back only because that's his alumni. That's where he went to school. That's the only reason you'd bring him there. But again, like you said, if he does a shitty job at Colorado, why would you want to bring him into FSU? I mean, it's already had bad years, and that's the question I asked my buddy. I said, "Hey, what is it with FSU and not recruiting quarterbacks anymore? You guys are bringing quarterbacks from other teams, transfers. Why are you not, you haven't had one since Jordan Travis got hurt, and you're like,
right.
well, why would they want to go there? Well, that's recruiting. You can't worry about injury. You have to. That's recruiting. So your recruiters are not doing a great job on getting quarterbacks to come to Tallahassee. Oh well, they got. He told me, oh well, they got kicked out of the college football playoff, and no one wants to go to FSU. And I'm like, you guys are still holding that over your head. The committee's head, dude. That was what 3 or 4 years ago. Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now. Adam could hold the freaking fourth down Ohio State Michigan game over his head too, but he's gotten over it because the Wolverines won the national championship, and that's what they say. Oh well, the national championship that Michigan won, they should go to FSU because they were undefeated and they got left out of the college football playoff. There was no guarantee if you got to the playoff, you were going to get through the first round anyway. There was no guarantee
They got
you were going to
destroyed.
win it all.
They got destroyed by Georgia. It's a moot point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your point is moot, like a cow's
So
opinion.
I mean, that's there are some again there are some college football fans out there that say the game is fixed. Going back to the wrestling I was talking about earlier to start the conversation, but it's fixed and everything. But anyway, the wrestling articles are doing well. I just wrote one about Rhea Ripley and her knee injury.
Yeah.
On the website, there is one about possible who could be on the card for Money in the Bank. Obviously, I think some matches are already kind of developing. I think Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes definitely will be a match at Money in the Bank. Roman Reigns against possibly Jacob Fatu.
It should be solo. It should be solo. It should be solo. I'm gonna say it right now. Solo's the best thing in the bloodline right now. He's so fun.
And that's fine
He's
too.
so much fun.
And that would be a great match. And obviously you have CM Punk and Kevin Owens for his belt.
Yeah.
That's going to be a great match between those two. And I saw Kevin Owens after SummerSlam, the post game on night 2, and he said, he goes, you think that I'm going to be cautious about my neck? He goes, that's not who I am. He goes, I lay it all out on the line for you guys. And that's what I kind of like about the press conferences is even if the wrestler is a heel or a face, they answer questions like they're nothing, like they're just a human. It's really cool how they can get them to like be not a heel or not a face. Like, oh, hey, they'll ask, and I'm not saying Kevin Owens was a heel. I'm sure he's the face in that because I think Punk will be the heel, but I could be wrong. Punk could be the face and Owens could be the heel at that point.
Yeah,
so
I think it would be. I think Owens should probably come back as a face.
Yeah, then that means that will make Punk the heel in that equation, or you can have two baby faces face for the title, and that's just how it for
whatever
a while.
you want.
No.
But then also the same friend that was talking to me about the FSU stuff goes, well, I like it when McMahon was writing. I go, no, I think it's a lot better since Vince has been gone.
Yeah.
Triple H has turned in a 180, a 180 where it's gone, where we're not sitting here talking and bitching and complaining about the same matches and the same guys having the belts. They're moving things. Different guys are having, shots at the belt that you wouldn't have. without Triple H being in charge. That's just my opinion on that. And you hear the keyboard cowboys talk about, oh, TKO is going to fire him. Okay, well, how are you going to fire him when the ratings are up? how are you possibly going to do that when the ratings are up? And I think they're blowing AEW out of the water. I don't know. I don't watch a lot of AEW wrestling. I can't tell you. I don't watch
I don't watch.
So I don't know what's going on in that neck of the woods or that universe. So, but yeah.
Okay, here I found it. So
Right.
yeah, no. Yeah, SmackDown averaged 1.4 mil, and Collision didn't even get 500,000.
Oh yeah, there you go. Okay.
Hell, Collision get beaten out by NXT.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, the NXT guys, the guys and gals that are down there, they're just as good, and that's the future of the WWE.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you look at the guys that they just brought up, and like Trick Williams and Ricky Saints and Oba Femi. Those guys were all in NXT for a long time, and you had, I think, Fatal Influence, who owns the tag team champions and that beat the Bellas and Paige at SummerSlam. They were also in NXT. So
yeah. Well, and if you think about it, you think about what the biggest difference between Vince and Triple H and in their managerial approach and their storytelling approaches is Vince was convinced that if you were an indie guy, you needed a new gimmick when you came up to the main roster. And look at, he would have done something. He would have totally changed Oba's character. He would have totally changed Trick Williams' character, and all the guys that have been brought up, the Joe Hendry,
I think I was going to say Danhausen. I guarantee you Danhausen would not be what he is if Vince was in charge. Just going to throw that. Just going to throw that out there.
Yeah.
And if you look at the numbers, they're not the late 90s, early 2000s numbers, but they're solid. 1.3, 1.4, 1.5. Those are solid numbers. Those are numbers that are keeping you on TV. If AEW is doing barely doing 500,000 a week, then also the TV landscape, the wrestling consumption landscape has changed. I don't watch wrestling on TV. I watch it on clips on YouTube or on TikTok. I watch other people watching wrestling because it's more fun. It's more fun to watch people reacting and it's almost like watching it with. I mean, it's almost like watching it with somebody in the room with you. And so you can, and so it's for me, it's more fun. It depends on the presenter. Some of them are annoying, but some of them I do like watching them react to the content. And I watch a lot of YouTube stuff, TV and WWE TikTok stuff, where they're just posting clips from the shows, and that's how I consume wrestling. Is I consume it in 2-minute chunks.
I mean, it's just too bad that they don't have any wrestling on Thursday night, so we get to watch.
Yeah.
We don't have it. They're not on. It's not on Thursday night. So,
but when it comes to when it comes to wrestling as a product, the things that we know about doing wrestling and performing the moves that were so cool and so death-defying 25 years ago. At the end and during the Attitude Era and Ruthless Aggression, and the head trauma that those guys put themselves through that they can't do anymore because it's just too dangerous.
Right.
Look at even Kevin Owens. He came back and he said he's not gonna slow down at all. He's gonna lay it all on the line. He's one bad bump away from being paralyzed.
That's true.
And never walking again, never feeding himself again, let alone wrestling. And as much as I love a 450 frog splash out on the outside, or a swanton bomb from a Jeff Hardy type character. Those are cool. They're dangerous. Yeah, that's why they're cool. Because they're dangerous. And but I understand that if you want to have a long and productive career in wrestling, you can't do those crazy moves because they're just too damn dangerous.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's. I mean, yeah, no, I agree with you, but I mean, I think after a while, as you get up in the years add up as you get
Yeah,
older. It's harder to perform moves like that, and
Absolutely.
it's kind of interesting to see that Jeff Hardy still does a swanton bomb at his age
mhm.
because a lot of guys wouldn't do that. Um, I mean, you look at moves like you look at Hogan with the leg drop. It's easy to get away with that because there's really not a lot of athletic ability than just come off the ropes and bam, hit the guy.
Yeah.
And I'm not Hogan was one of my favorites, and rest in
Mm.
peace,
Same
Terry
here.
Bollea. But it's you know you're right. As far as I'm concerned, the only guy that could ever do a frog splash is RVD. Sorry,
Mm.
I did.
Well,
Sorry, it's
well,
RVD. Yeah.
if you think about it, what killed it was the murder suicide, Chris Benoit.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it was the steroid abuse. It was the head trauma. And after that night, when Vince comes on and they do that special, and because nobody knows, all we know is that Benoit's dead. We don't realize that it was a triple homicide murder suicide or double homicide murder suicide. All we know is he's dead, and everybody's like, oh, this is such a tragedy. It's so tragic. And then come to find out he had killed his wife and kid, and then killed himself.
It's heartbreaking.
And we find out about the steroid use. We find out about the concussions, the CTE, and we see wrestling move away from that stuff because they can't have another. It's not good for the brand. It's not good for the
No.
brand.
No.
And as much as I joke about there's no bad press as long as I spell your name right, and there's some bad press right there, man. That's some pretty bad press. And so
Well, you could even say, buddy, and then it wasn't a. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
no,
Wasn't
go
a
ahead.
prior wrestling move, but having Owen Hart die was the first blemish. On that, him falling from the arena as the Blue Blazer, that
Yeah,
started everything from that point on. Is they have to be more careful because
yeah,
not even the UFC is scared about this. I mean, you see the referees; those guys are getting pounded on. They're knocked out. The referee stops that because you don't want to have someone die in
right.
the octagon because it draws negative attention to yours. And that you're right, but with the WWE, you don't want to have another Benoit. You don't want to have another Owen Hart issue or
Well,
issue, not issue,
No, I wouldn't.
situation or
well,
tragedy, should I say?
with the Owen Hart tragedy and Owen Hart situation, you can pass that off because it wasn't a wrestling. You can obfuscate that and say that it was an equipment malfunction. It was the event, the stadium wasn't set up for it. He made a mistake. It's not on us.
Mm-hmm.
With the Benoit situation, you can't say that it wasn't us. It was him. No, because people know he was a wrestler. They know he abused steroids. They know he had head trauma. And the other thing, it makes the performers sit up and take notice. With Owen Hart, it's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same situation with Dale Earnhardt when Earnhardt died. When it was Tony Roper, Adam Petty, um, uh, John Nemechek, that's Joe Nemechek's brother. For those who are
Right.
wondering, when it was those guys or anybody else, when it was Neil Bonnet, when it was Tim Flock or Fireball Roberts, but and those guys happened back in the 60s and in the 50s and 60s. And I may be wrong about Tim Flock; he may not have actually died, but I'm pretty sure no, he didn't die in a crash. Um,
Okay.
but I know Fireball Roberts died, and it succumbed to his injuries. it was easy to say, well, that was the 60s. They didn't care about safety. They didn't understand safety. They made improvements with Roper and Petty and Nemechek. You can say, well, they were inexperienced drivers. They didn't really know what they were doing. They had equipment malfunctions. Think that, that's the product of the beast. It's the nature of the sport. It's dangerous. But then Dale goes and dies in the biggest event on the last lap, on the last corner. Now you can't ignore it. Now you can't be like. Now you can't say, "Well, he was an inexperienced driver." It was, we're looking into it. We'll get there when we get there. We're not going to make any big change. We're not going to make any big changes because we don't want to. We don't want to. We don't want to force these guys to learn something new. And then Dale dies, and all the, and it takes Dale's death for them to go. Maybe it is. Maybe it is dangerous. Maybe we should look into fixing it and not making it so dangerous. And then you look at and then fast forward a few years into 2007 and Chris Benoit and everything that happened around him and the WWE and then having to take a step back and go, well, maybe it is too dangerous. Maybe we need to slow down with the head traumas and the steroid use. And you see the PG era come out of that, and you see them moving away from those high flying big spots into more storytelling wrestling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no,
Yeah, 2008.
You got away with you got away from I mean now that the only person that I know that really does any kind of high flying move now would be Javon Evans. He's the only one that I really know that has if you want to call Soruka, her soul snatcher is one of those, but other than that, there's really not a lot of guys that go off the top rope anymore or have any kind of direct hit to the head or anything like that. If you saw the Obafemi match and Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam Night 1, they obviously had to get Undertaker's permission to use the pile driver because that was Undertaker's move. That was his finishing move.
Right.
Obviously, they had to go to Mark Calloway and say, hey, Mark, can we use this move to finish this match? He agreed to do it. Obviously, Obafemi kicked out of it and then hit Fall from Grace, which is what his finishing move is. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't like the fact that these guys are kicking out of finishing moves because back in the day, you didn't. Once you got hit with the finisher, that was it.
Right.
But they don't do that anymore now. They, Obafemi, I think, went through 5 F5s during the match and still kicked out of them. And I don't know how many fall from graces Brock Lesnar went through. But I think it was kind of cool with what Brock did after the match by saying, hey, I'm the past. This is the future. This is the guy that I was the next big thing. This is now the next big thing. I was the beast. This is the beast. And it's all through, if you think about that, all through the eras of WWE, there's always been a big guy, starting with Andre. Andre was the first of the big guys. Andre the Giant, the Big Show, or
Andre the Giant.
Whatever you call him, but he went by different names. And then now you add Brock Lesnar. Now you have Obafemi. You've always had, and that's not the only big guys. I mean, obviously you had, Yokozuna and I'm trying to think of any of the back in the Hogan era, Hogan and Warrior and all those guys, Macho Man. But those, I'm trying to think of any of the big guys that Earthquake and all those guys were all big guys.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have like a Kevin Owens or a Trick Williams or anybody back in that era where you do now. Big guys that can move. I mean, look at Braun Breaker. The guy weighs like a shit house, but he moves so quick for a guy his size. But then again, he's a Steiner. He's a Steiner. Both his dad and his uncle both move very well, and Rick and Scott. So both of those guys moved very well. You can't tell me that Scott didn't do steroids, but there you were talking about steroids earlier. Scott Steiner was definitely a steroid user. But yeah, I mean, it's a different but yes, I don't think there's any more high fly moves anymore that you see much. And even if you do, they're not going to be big guys. I mean, you guys saw the match where I think it was Brock Lesnar trying to do the shooting star press and almost broke his neck against Kurt
Mm-hmm.
Angle. You can watch that on YouTube. That's one of the biggest blunders of the WWE because he slipped off the top rope and didn't get all the way around and almost broke his neck. But yeah, they've gotten away from the high risk moves, like you said, Bud, that will cause concussions or further head trauma.
Yeah,
Um,
and because I looked it up. That's what I've been looking at is the Benoit incident happens in June of 2007,
okay,
and by July of 2008, they've gone to the PG era, which I think is just and this is just pure conjecture on my part, but I think what a part of it was that they wanted to get away from those hard hard headshots. They wanted to move away from it. They wanted to move away from the ruthless aggression era. They wanted to get into more family friendly programming at a time where parents were wanting more family friendly entertainment to watch as a family. And I think the Benoit incident where he, the double murder suicide is the catalyst to
Mhm.
pushing creative to take the WWE in a less violent direction.
have you noticed too recently that they've gotten away from headshots with chairs? Most of them
Mm-hmm.
now are in the
Mm-hmm.
back.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think they've gotten away, like you said, but getting away from any kind of shots to the head, any kind of head trauma that can cause, you know, damage these guys' careers, for the long haul. Because at the end of the day, we all know they're independent contractors. They
Right.
Right.
putting their own bodies on the line, knowing that at any moment they could break an arm, a leg, get concussed,
Yeah.
whatever might happen, they that's the risk that you take. But then again, that's the risk you take in most sports. Most sports you take that risk, like with like you were just talking, but about senior Earnhardt Senior.
Mm-hmm.
You get in a car, you don't know if you're going to get around the track in one piece, and not every NASCAR driver has. Some of them have been lucky through their careers and have never been in an accident, and some guys have. Some people have been in multiple accidents. It just depends on the track and the
Mm.
drivers. Um,
Yep.
and same thing. That's why at the end of the show too, I always think first responders, because as a law
Yeah.
enforcement officer or as a firefighter, you put that uniform on or that badge on, you have no idea if you're coming home alive
Yeah.
from day to day,
Yep. Yep.
because there's too many crazy people out there. And I watch a lot of body cam videos on
Yeah.
YouTube with cops.
Ugh.
Um, you should see the traffic stops I've seen and how
Sure.
crazy people are driving with cops on their cars, shooting cops. I mean, I saw one the other day where they pulled this guy over and he killed the officer and wounded the other one.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, it was right there in black and white, as it's called. And,
Yeah.
that's the risk that you take every day, with putting that badge on, or, firefighters the same way. You go into a building, you don't know if you're coming out alive. I mean, you don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
Never thought.
one of my favorite movies is Backdraft. I mean, that's one of my favorite
Oh yeah.
firefighter movies.
Yep.
And,
Yep.
not everyone gets out. That's just the way that it is with being a firefighter or a first responder. You don't know. You just, with anything in life, you do.
Take the
None of
risk.
us are guaranteed tomorrow. No one's guaranteed
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah. For sure.
No.
And
Hug your children.
I always believe that if we're in God's waiting room, and if your number gets called, well, then your number gets called. It's time for you to go home. If that's what you believe in. Again, everyone has different beliefs, but that's just the way I believe. Yeah. But everyone has different beliefs on their different religions and stuff like that. Again, that's another topic I don't want to talk about on the show either. With politics and religion, you don't want to talk about that because there are some people out there that will not be too kind to certain things.
That is true.
That are said.
Something is best to keep private.
Correct. Well, guys, you want to call it a show there? And
yeah, we call it a show right there.
All right.
Go ahead. We'll talk about your show before we get off.
All right. Enhanced Sports Show continues on Saturday, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Number is 512-543-4662. We are continuing on with baseball as we get towards the end of the season. We'll also talk some Little League Baseball as their playoffs are going on right now. The NFL preseason. We got some NBA news because the NBA schedule has been released. It was released about 3 o'clock this afternoon. It was a little hard to read because it was the schedule on the internet was kind of messed up. Of course, ABC is getting shafted this year. Oh boy. We'll talk some WNBA as well. If I can find anything interesting on the UFC front, we'll discuss that, of course. Also, your thoughts and comments, the ridiculous sign of the week, which I think we just did. Sports trivia, this day in sports history, and the feel-good story of the week, which, if you're a soccer fan, you might like this story. Hint, hint. So remember, the number is 512-543-4662, Saturday afternoon from 4 to 6 p.m. That's Eastern Time. Don't forget to like and share our page, and we're on Facebook Live. At least I think we're live. No, we are. We are Facebook Live.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Lou. I apologize, guys, for not being here for I think the first hour of the show, trying to get my internet to work properly. I thank Nicole for coming on again. I will, of course, talk to her in text message about that. But we will have Betty Cantlay on next week, guys, talking about the WNBA.
I can't wait. I can't wait for Betty to come on.
We will talk to her about the issues that are going on right now in the WNBA as we draw, as the political stuff that's going on right now in that league. Again, thanks these guys for making this night great. Thanks for Adam for holding the fort down for me for the first hour of the show. So again, thanks for both of you guys for holding it down. We'll be back next week, like I said, with Betty, and we'll talk about other things as well. And again, guys, at the end of the month, we will have our preview of college football and NFL. We might have Gerald and Alec on, and then at that point they might be on here to give us.
Great.
We'll see what happens.
Great.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. We may just end up keeping it the 3 here.
Right.
But anyway, before I get off, again, I'd like to thank the men and women of our armed services and then our first responders. Thank you for doing what you do. We would not be able to do our thing without you guys doing what you do. Thanks again to Nicole. Thanks again for these 2 great gentlemen for keeping everything great. This has been the Walker Report. We are part of NGSC Sports. Remember the website. It's ngscsports.com for all your current sports content. Until next Thursday, I am the Sportster Bradley Walker. Peace.
All right, send it.